For those of you who are fans of the Mass Effect series, you may know that Andromeda released yesterday. This is BioWare's latest Mass Effect, taking place some 600 years after the events of the original trilogy. It's the first to take place outside of the Milky Way galaxy, and also the first major game of the franchise to feature a story not involving Commander Shepard. Some of the pre-release buzz toward Andromeda had been negative, with a lot of criticism being leveled toward the game's character animations. Here are my first impressions for Mass Effect Andromeda. Originally, I wanted to do this video yesterday, as I spent a good 4 hours playing the game after its midnight release, and several more hours throughout the morning and afternoon. But I knew that in a game this large I would barely even be scratching the surface, so I decided to give it an extra day, and I'm really glad that I did. My initial impressions with Andromeda weren't great. The cast of characters at the start of the game is quite bland, with your two initial teammates being a generic, overly optimistic male crewman and a generic, tough, no-nonsense female space marine. The Arch-Hyperion and the Nexus feel both familiar and also lacking, as there's very little to do at the start of the game. The first 3 hours are slow and drag on, as you're almost immediately thrust into a sizable open world on Habitat 7, fighting off a generic alien race that immediately opens fire on you because the game needs to establish that conflict. The beginning of the story lacks the sophistication of Mass Effect 1, where that game foreshadowed the conflict with the Reapers, the search for Prothean technology, and immediately throws you into a firefight with the Geth. And it lacks the punch of Mass Effect 2, where you are recruited, shall we say, by a shady corporation to find out why entire human colonies are going missing. Andromeda knows it can't rely on the prime Mass Effect universe, so it replaces the Reapers with the Ket, an alien race searching for ancient alien technology, and sort of amalgamates both the Protheans and the Geth into the Remnant. The problem is that the Ket and the Remnant are just dull. They might not be that bad on their own, for people who are new to Mass Effect, but compared to the Reapers, the Geth, the Protheans, they're just bland. The Remnant are cookie-cutter robot enemies, kind of like the Prometheans in Halo 4, and the Ket are cookie-cutter hostile aliens searching for Remnant technology, kind of like the Reapers searching for Prothean technology, except without the imminent threat of wiping out all life in the galaxy. But as I said, I'm really glad I gave Andromeda more time. After about the 4th or 5th hour, depending on how quickly you play through or how much exploration you do and how many side quests you take on, you are finally given your own ship called the Tempest, and suddenly the game just opens up. It goes from feeling like a Mass Effect knockoff to a true Mass Effect game in size, depth, and complexity. The exploration of Eos, the Remnant, monoliths, the cavernous vault, the establishment of a colony, they feel great, and after 4 hours of stilted gameplay and conversation where you have no real impact on anything, it's a breath of fresh air to suddenly be left in control. And the whole colonized planets thing? Sure, you have people in cryostasis back on the Ark waiting to be woken up so they can settle new colonies, but it doesn't lead to that awkward feeling from the original trilogy where you want to explore every inch of ground, but you also have to kind of, save humanity from immediate destruction. As you get further into the game, you start to see more interesting things. There's a whole underlying system of bitter politics on the Nexus. You have to decide how to deal with angry colonists. You have to decide whether the initiative will focus on scientific research and discovery, or if it will turn militaristic like the Systems Alliance back home in the Milky Way. You start to dig into what the Ket want, and you meet a new species that is actually really interesting and unique, and it's nothing like any of the races from the Shepard trilogy, which is really, really refreshing. And as I said, once you get past that 4-hour mark, the game seems to feel more comfortable being what it is, a Mass Effect sequel, and stops trying so hard to be what it isn't, a successor to the Shepard trilogy. BioWare is masterful when it comes to creating rich universes, but those first few hours might lead you to think otherwise. Either way, I'm really glad I held off on my initial impressions, because Andromeda is actually starting to really deliver on what I was hoping for. It feels like a Mass Effect game, and I'm really looking forward to spending many hours in this wonderful world they've created. How's Andromeda going for you? Are you playing as Captain Goody McGooderson, Pathfinder of Goodness, or are you going to see how far you can push the game to let your character be a complete arsehole? Are you happy with the game so far, or is it falling short of your expectations? Let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like this video, or I will send a dropship full of ket to your house. And while you're at it, please consider subscribing to my channel for more opinions, commentary, and reviews for Mass Effect Andromeda, and more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.